Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to LEGO Indiana Jones 2, The Adventure Continues. So we need a small amount of studs. So the best level I can find so far is just a quick and easy way to get studs. Is first of all we need to turn our score multiplier back on. We can turn on silhouettes for fun, why not? Even in the new version, silhouettes look better. Somehow the black silhouettes look better. I don't know how the more modernized version of it. It's kind of interesting that the vehicles are silhouetted in somewhat too. So, treasure mode on this level makes a lot of sense because all I have to do is this. And that gives me 82,000, and then the 82,000 gets added, and then back here, treasure mode, do it again. So what's so useful about this level is the fact that while you can fall off to your death if you're clumsy, in general you're moving one direction where the studs are moving a little bit out of the way too, but not a big deal. There's no enemies to deal with. There's nothing fighting you. There's nothing in your way. You can just quickly get 82,000. Now when I get the score multiplier times 4, then grinding here would multiply the 80,000 by 4 more, which then would be like 360,000 studs at my advantage. And see, that's all we needed to do. Not an incredible amount of grinding, and I'm glad it somehow worked out so that I didn't have to do a bunch of this. Let's go ahead and turn silhouettes off, though. That's... well, that might actually save us from some lagging later on. It's also kind of annoying. So we were working on this box, and what I want to see is if I do this in time trial mode, can I get true adventure? That's lagging. What would be interesting to see is if I turn on silhouettes, would it turn on the silhouettes in the cutscenes? And I bet the answer to that is no. Let's go ahead and skip this. We'll turn the silhouettes back on. So true adventure mode is here, which is good. I guess the only question is, can we save and exit, or are we forever doomed to play this entire level? Not like that really matters too much anyways, because here we can see that this entire level only took me 6 minutes before. It more than likely will take me relatively the same amount of time as a rat. That when the rat dies, it becomes de-silhouetted. That seems strange. And we're having some lagging here, so there goes my theory. I was fairly certain that that wasn't going to work, but with the silhouettes on in particular, you are reducing some of the textures, but not a major amount, really. The good thing about this level versus the second instance of this level, the treasure mode, I guess is what they're calling it, instance, is you don't set off the alarm in the main level here. And this is really weird. I mean, it's a cool concept, it's just they don't ever do anything with it. Let's see. I'm gonna be so close to ending to the end of this level anyways. I might as well play it all the way through. Still kind of struggling to get True Adventure though. With all of the multipliers, True Adventure will happen within a second. Right, so the trick here is you have to be really far away from that key. Barely have it on screen even. And then whip it to get it to show up. Turns out this is the prison or mental asylum that Oxley was in. The nutty professor is all I've been calling him up to this point. But I finally figured out what his name was. Oxley as a character doesn't really add too much to the movie. In a lot of ways, a lot of them don't add too much to the movie. Go ahead and pick this up and pick it up and it goes silhouetted, and then put it down and then whip it. And then they find the map to the location where the crystal skull is. It's hugely underplayed, honestly, where the crystal skull is and how they find it. It's not really a big important scene as much as it should be, in my opinion. I suppose that it was kind of realistic because more than likely in the world of archaeology, artifacts do get picked up and moved to lesser dramatic places instead of their original places of esteem. But also there's kind of a argue against it too, because I suppose if you set somebody like Indiana Jones in the future, he would be searching the museums, like the New York Museum of Modern Art and stuff, and or the Smithsonian would probably be a better museum that he would be searching, and then there'd just be all these things. Interesting, the cutscene does put them in silhouettes, but it doesn't put their hats in silhouettes. At least for that scene. And see, Mutt is just always combing his hair, because that's what greasers did, is they put grease in their hair, and that's where they get the name greaser from. Alright. So, the idea, did that work for us? Yes, it did. Should I have gone and purchased the score multiplier? Yes, I should have. So, let's see. It's really stupid to play with the silhouettes. So, we'll do this. We'll fly over here. And they did us a favor by putting the airplane over here. This once you unlock the airplane, it allows for, and so you have to be under a certain height before you can deploy your parachute. Now score times 4 is on. Now we have a score multiplier of times 8, and I'm just gonna save and return to the warehouse because it will save time in the long run. Even though we have to look at a couple loading screens on this, it actually does make it easier just to do it this way. Is this a vehicle level? I think it may be. Well, this is gonna take 13 minutes according to So this is that area where we're gonna have to fight all the vehicles, and I guess the best suggestion I can give myself is to take on these guys quickly and kill them. And I need to get some studs too. So that's group 1 eliminated, and we're halfway through our thing. I need to hit these prime targets. And see, I'm chasing after a group of cars that seem to not be the cars I'm looking for. Let's go ahead and get this. We're almost there. There we go. Are we at True Adventure yet? Yes, we are. Now, if I hit exit level and so it doesn't have like a save and exit thing, so we are now stuck with this. We also have a grinding issue still. Like, I need a boost, and I need to get this vehicle, ideally this vehicle, on the other side. Come on. You see, this thing just isn't gonna move fast enough. It's not even taking the angle. Alright. Can I make the jump without a thing? Well, my companion can, because there we go. Jump made. And this car works when I don't drive it off a ledge. We're at 420,000 studs. Now this is not the right place I would want to grind, but I definitely can appreciate having the 5 million studs that I need. See, I don't know if I want to go right there because I know that path puts me back in a place where I'd have to go around the entire map again, since we've done this level in its treasure mode and figured that out. So this area is physically large but very unvaried, very linear. So as long as it seems like the cars are down here, I just need to go in the same loop over and over again. And that seems to be the case. And probably not do that. That's probably a bad idea. There. So here we are with a lot of knowledge and a lot of advantages, and we still can't really speed up this process. Let's see, maybe we can head-on collision this one. There. That's one. That's another one. And we'll go around in the circle the opposite direction if we don't fall off. Now, there was a section in the movie when they were chasing in cars like this that they were right on the edge of a cliff. And so the game is representing that somewhat well. But not greatly. Okay. So now the question will be, how can I break this tree trimmer vehicle that I've got? Do I need a mine? Or can I just crash into it? Well, the vehicle I have is not doing anything. And if you touch those buzzsaws, you certainly aren't going to succeed in anything. So, I need to find a car that, maybe this car? Come back here, bad guy. And that's how you commandeer a car. And see, I need Oxley to show up here so I can start shooting with the X button. But this isn't working either. So now I'm gonna try and get the tree cutter downer that I had. Maybe this car can damage this one? Nope. So, tree trimmer versus tree trimmer. Remember, there was no tree trimmer in the movie. It's all made up, and the game is locking up. And there's really no way to come back and look at any of these cutscenes. In one way, I suppose I kind of agree with them. The cutscenes aren't worth watching, but the fact that they've, up to this point, already allowed players to do all the cutscene things, it seems kind of repetitive to, because it seems kind of bad to take something out that was already there in previous versions. I mean, you really can't ever eliminate a feature. That's just the way it goes. If you add a feature to a series of the games, you either need to add a ton of features and take one out to the point where people don't even recognize that you took one out or changed it or did something. I'm looking here in the water to see if maybe there's a character. So there's one guy that needs to be purchased, and I don't know where he is. So I'm gonna just hop out here and Lego parachute down this way. And I guess I have to start here. And I'm just looking for anybody who decides to come out and attack me. And whoever that Russian, it's a Russian person, I'm pretty sure, is, he'll be the one we need to purchase, and then we'll be at 100%. So right now we're up to 635,000 studs. And, oh man, really? Oh, seriously? Seriously? Did the game freeze? Or did the controller mess up? Yes, the controller messed up again. I have never had this issue. See, and this game is so buggy, it's got me wondering if my computer is just falling apart at the seams. Really. That's what it's got me thinking, is that the controller's broken. It's got me thinking that the video card's broken. It's got me believing all kinds of things that, or at least suspecting all kinds of things that I know aren't true. I know it's not true. My computer's barely like a year and a half old at most. It's a brand new thing, but not so brand new that I could say, well, maybe I built something wrong or did something wrong in building it, because I've certainly put it through its paces since then. I'm gonna really enjoy the next game I play that is high graphics and completely like short on and completely bug free. That's what I meant to say. Alright, so these are all characters I've purchased before. See, there's nothing over here. Nothing over here. Do I have somebody with a shovel? I guess it doesn't matter if I run this way. Maybe the character is up here. So this was a race, and I don't want to do the race per se. I want to break the rocks. I'm thinking maybe the broken rocks here will unlock a character. There's also, like, does this guy have like this gun guy? Does this gun guy have something he can do with the frog? No. Okay. So back up here. And run back this way. Where's the shovel when we need it? Need a shovel to get to that. I don't want to race down here. How long is it going to take for the shovel to respawn? Let me ask this. Can I hit this? No. Well, let's leave this area alone and see if there might be another area. And I really can't imagine that there's going to be an indicator, a marker somewhere that says, yes, this is going to point out all the collectibles you're looking for. There's another shovel thing though. Man, where is the guy with the shovel? There he is, way over there. Alright. hopefully this does something that unlocks that final character. Oh, it does. Wow. The guy is just buried in the ground. So he must have been the bad guy. And see, I could barely even afford that guy. So now there's really shouldn't be any reason why I need to stay actually in this level. 100% for box 2, 100% for box 1. Let's hop back into the story mode and skip and let the game lag because it loves to lag. So I have the score times 8 multiplier. I believe I have the already unlocked the red brick for score times 6 for box 3. So if I grind here just a little bit, get the 5 to 6 million that I think I need, then I think we're done. So doing that once gives us 328,000 studs. I'll just go ahead and jump in here quick and not even let all the studs add to my total score, because I'm sure that's just kind of for show and it actually is working. So we are quickly almost up to 1 million as the game lags some more. There's really no reason why the game would lag in a level like this. It's incredibly small amount of stuff. Interesting background art in this. So 1.5 million. Next score multiplier, this would be even easier to do. Let's see. 328,000 and we're now at 2 million. But we need to be at, I believe, 5 million. So this is still grinding a little bit. Not terrible though. It really is a great level. In comparison to, say nothing else was different in this level except for instead of a bunch of purple ones, it was a bunch of blue ones and there was more of them. That in itself would make the level less easy. I kind of wish there was something above a purple, but it's not really necessary. So we're at 3 million now. The good news is this probably, it has a decent chance of being the only grinding we actually need to do in this whole game. The bad news, I would say though, is you're probably going to end up having to do this even if you play perfectly, well, perfect. There's just no great way to get studs otherwise. The way the boxes split everything up and the way it requires you to unlock things, to unlock other things, to beat certain levels, to get studs that way, it all comes back in on itself and doesn't work as a smooth synergistic system. It is very, very separate. Let's see. We can do just a couple more here. If it came about that we needed 6 million, for example, instead of 5 million, which I don't believe is the case, that would be a problem. Otherwise, I think we're set. Going to 6 million is not actually a terrible thought, though, because then it would only take 3 more levels of grinding, and I'd have 1 million studs already in my inventory to purchase anything. Because we have seen some things actually are 500,000. Like that last character we just unlocked was 500,000 studs. So that puts us in a great position to start doing box 3 of the Crystal Skull. Let's see, 1 more should be enough. But let's do 2 more while we're at it. There's really no reason not to. So 6 million is if it actually costs that much to get the score multiplier, plus another 328,000 to purchase anything else we may need. I think that works very, very nicely, and that instead of being hours and hours of potential gameplay that it could have been, barely took just a few minutes. And so now we are very, very well set up to do Kingdom of the Crystal Skull Part 3. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.